they believe we need to find the source of the disorder rather than concentrating on the symptoms. Welcome to both of you. And that really is the key to this, isn't it? You choose a lot of people in your clinic, but you feel like it's the source, that's what you need to discover in order to make a change.
Currently, I mean, obviously, it has to happen in that these girls, particularly girls, are being treated and they're being fed. And obviously, food isn't actually the problem, it's why they stopped eating. And it's understanding why did they stop eating and changing that. So it's very much about the belief, you know, why did they feel that they needed to go on this mission?
This is something that is very personal to you because of all the things we've discussed in here, problems you've managed to solve. You had this. This was a part of your life.
Yeah. And it's the first time I've spoken about it, so... but yeah...
You'll be all right.
Yeah,
all right.
I know. When I was sort of younger, before I met Nick, I was in a relationship and I was cheated on. And instead of realising that, you know, it was the guy that had cheated on me and he was wrong, I looked at, well, what's happened? Why has that happened to me? That must be me. It must be my fault. And therefore, I tried to change me. I felt that being slimmer would make me more attractive. And also, there was a feeling of control. And again, in clinic, we hear this so often, that when you're in a situation where you feel you have no power and no control, then taking control of your eating is very empowering. It makes you feel like you're doing something, you're achieving something. But unfortunately, we don't realise that it's the detriment to our health.
When you have something like that, does it stay with you forever, or is there a way? I mean, obviously you're better now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how did you get better?
For me, again, without realising it, the source changed. So it was a relationship where I felt really bad about myself, and what changed for me was that the relationship ended, and suddenly I realised actually that relationship caused me immense pain, and instead of feeling bad about myself, I started to build on who I was, what I'd achieved, and again, exactly what we do in clinic. It's a sort of there's two elements to helping somebody. It's finding the source of the belief and changing that, and then it's building confidence and self-esteem.
At its worst, how poorly were you?
Yeah, very. In that, I mean, obviously I hid it. I would lie down and make sure that I could see my hip bones, but then I would really hide it with baggy clothes and jumpers. During the day, I remember at absolute worst, cooking 4 boiled sprouts and cutting them into 4, and just knowing that I could have 1 piece per hour gave me again a sense of real power and control.
It is, as we've discussed in here so many times, we saw on that tape a moment ago, that it's incredibly complicated. There are many complex reasons and issues behind it, but fundamentally part of your approach to this is that you treat the case, not the symptoms.
Correct.
And they are all very different.
That's right, and you know, there's always a positive intent, and that's the thing. And you know, what we want to look at is, OK, someone, you know, talking anorexia, for example, someone's decided to stop eating. So what we always say is, OK, we understand the symptoms, we know where you are. Why did you go on hunger strike?
And
what was the reason behind that? And there is always a positive intent. There's always...
Is it always easy to find that reason? Because sometimes things are so deep within or happened when you were so young, it's difficult to... How do you pinpoint it to a certain moment or a thing?
By doing a timeline, in essence, and looking back and saying, OK, when you were at school in this class, who was your best friend? Can you remember any problems at this time? And it's a process of looking through a timeline because there's always a pinnacle point.